Seedance 2.0 is coming out. I opened up my feed this morning. It's flooded with Seedance 2.0 examples.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man! He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die, and now you die too.
This thing looks insane. Seedance 2 is the evolution of Seedance 1.5 Pro. It's the same model that I used for my Waldo video. If you remember my excitement about the Waldo video, I was gushing over how real I thought things looked, how cinematic things felt, and if you remember, I put a lot of energy into that video. I think 60 hours with over 300 different video generations and so on. And I did that here in Higsfield, so if you're looking at my screen here, you can see it was very simple. I would just upload a start frame and an end frame that I generated in Nano Banana, selected Seedance 1.5 Pro, and generated every single shot in that video with the exception of one. And if you want to learn about that, you can check out the tutorial video in the description below. But that entire video was Seedance 1.5, and since then I've been like touting Seedance is the best. I've tested all of them at this point, or at least all of the major players, and I keep going back to it. Seedance really has great cinematic attributes. But when I look at some of this new stuff that came out this week, let's see, precise action replication. Look at this. I'm a huge Severance fan. This is insane. If we're getting to the point now where we can direct action, we can direct cinematic camera styles, this is a cinema tool now. This is no longer a social media novelty tool. But the internet just flooded with these. This one really stood out in particular. There's a couple things in here that I think, this is Seedance 2.0. There's a couple things in here that are incredibly hard to do. This telephoto lens here in the beginning with the distance in the background and the focal length that way, the handheld cinema sort of style shaking, the action, it feels pretty visceral. I would say there's still a little bit of AI-ness on like the text on the box that flipped over. You know, maybe the text on the sign in the background is just a blur. That's little stuff that a VFX artist could clean up. This, if you could generate this in 4K and it was clean like this is a cinema-ready shot with a few VFX upgrades. And the application of this kind of stuff, punch-in shots, reshoots, real quick fixes on your movie, that's gonna start being done. The second unit is gonna be done with AI tools. It's gonna be pretty crazy how the movie process changes with these types of tools. Another thing I want to talk about is action scenes. If you remember from my Waldo video, there was an action shot here and there. It was very hard to get that to work. I mentioned this in videos before. The visceral sort of inertia and kinetic energy of things interacting is just not present in these AI models yet in a perfect way. And so when I look at stuff like this fight scene right here, which was popping off in the AI video subreddit, to do this a few months ago would have been incredibly hard, but look at how visceral these moves are. Let's take a look. So I was over on Higsfield, and if you remember my Waldo video, this is literally how I set up some of these shots. Let me go to a shot that actually ended up in the video. No, where is it? This shot. I keep going back to this shot. So this shot, that's such a cool shot. It looks real. It looks like we shot this on film. Seedance is really good at the cinematic aesthetic. It's good at the camera motion. It's good at acting. Like, it's one of the best ones for acting and facial emotion and emoting. Like, I really feel like this is pretty dang real. I think the only thing that kind of gives it away is the eyes, maybe a little bit, like the pupil of the eye is a little... Anyway, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you'd probably think it was shot on film. So to think that a new model is coming out better than this, that excites me on a number of fronts. It's going to open up so many storytelling possibilities. And to make something like this right now was actually not that hard. If you look at my prompt, let me go look at what I did here. This is literally just a nano banana image that I uploaded here in Higsfield. And the prompt was looking angry and breathing heavy. That's insane. And I used Seedance 1.5 Pro. So I don't know who like Kling 3.0, if you saw my video about that, there's a lot of hype around that. Also some crazy videos coming out about that. But this, I just feel like this is gonna take the cake. And I think ByteDance just won the game for now. So Higsfield put out a blog about Seedance. I just read through it. And there's a lot of speculation, a lot of excitement. I'll put a link to this blog in the description below, along with a sign-up code if you want to go check out Higsfield. I think it's a great platform, and Seedance 2.0 will definitely be coming to Higsfield, and I can't wait to try it. This bit about sequence level coherence, you can see it in the examples I just showed you. Cutting between different shots, different angles, different motions with the camera through these shots. The scenes feel like they're a real three-dimensional space, and we're just looking at it differently. That's hard to do right now. Oftentimes when you use these models, you'll see warps and perspective, and it's actually kind of hard to get your cinematic action to happen in three-dimensional space. If I want someone to like rotate in a space to the other side and change perspectives, that's kind of a tricky thing right now. If they're working on this type of stuff, that'll make storytelling even more strong. Camera movement as a central point of user interest. This ByteDance already does, like I think Seedance 1.5 already does a great job at camera motion. So if they're improving camera motion, and you can see it in these shots, especially that one with the focal length on the running and jumping through that vendor's cart, like that stuff looks like a cinematographer shot that. So if they're improving the models on motion and you have an ability to control these things, that's next level. Can't wait to play with that. Okay, motion stability that you can edit. This is one of the things. I think if the models allow controls for you to go in and tweak things like the camera motion, the speed, the style, the more tools and levers we have as filmmakers and storytellers, the better we can control how we get our story made. And I think one of the problems right now is that sometimes it's impossible to do the thing you want. And so you settle on something. I've settled on things so many times where it's like, okay, I wanted this to happen, but then it didn't. And so I have this sort of like not so great shot of Alf being projected into space, which wasn't the shot I had in my mind. So the more and more controls, the better the stuff is going to be. Character consistency, this is something that we're hearing all the time. And if you've seen my videos on character consistency with like the model sheet example from my dinosaur video, which I will also link in the description below, we had to put a lot of work into getting the characters to be consistent. You'd have to have a three-dimensional model that you would generate either in some 3D software or in Nano Banana, which is what I did with this Earl Sinclair model. And you'd have to use those in all of your video prompts to then create the images, to then feed to the AI video models to get sort of a coherent character, especially if it's someone recognizable. When they rotate, it's going to fall apart if you don't have like a rotation, anchor frame here. You're going to lose the character. And so hopefully what they're saying with these new models is that they're learning what the characters are supposed to look like so that they can fill in those gaps. If that's the case, if we could just feed these models character sheets like this Earl one that I just shared, you could make any story you want with these characters, or your character, even your own likeness. If you're an actor, imagine you're on a movie and you're making a movie and you had a mess up on one of the scenes and you had this character sheet of your actor. You can go and plug that in using some of these tools. There's a lot of speculation. In fact, I think Seedance is like becoming available now. I need to go hunt it down. I got so many ideas for Seedance 2.0. Like when I saw this stuff this morning, my mind just flooded with a ton of ideas. So you're going to see some cool stuff from me, hopefully in the next couple weeks, if I get access to it. Anyway, Seedance 2.0. I think it's coming online right now. There might even be some of these platforms that have it. It'll definitely be coming to Higsfield, so use my link, check it out when it's up there, and play with some stuff. Send me your shots. What do you think? Do you think that this is like becoming the new standard for cinema? Do you think this is going to change the industry? Leave me your thoughts in the comments, and I'd love to hear what you think. I'm excited by it, so obviously I'm like biased by my own excitement, but give me some pragmatic, practical thoughts. What do you think? Anyway, I have more stuff coming out. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. I'm putting stuff out all the time, and I've got a list of videos a mile long. So until then, thank you for watching.